Hi, this is Thomas Wynn from Wynn Capital. Let's talk Joby stock.
Can you give us a little insight on how Joby stock is doing recently?
Sure. Joby has declined about 70% from its IPO price, and it's currently at $4, came out at $10, it went up as high as around 14, and has been declining pretty much ever since, with a few rallies and a bunch of declines. So it's in this top chart is the downtrend line. So it's currently at 403, very close to its all-time low of 3.95.
So why is it declining like that?
More sellers than buyers. So it was probably overvalued on the IPO, and there were probably a lot of the people that formed the SPAC and employees that were allowed to sell, and they're trying to turn their options into cash that they can do something with. But the whole space was overvalued, and sentiment for speculative shares of these SPACs, tech in general, and the market in general has changed. Sentiment has changed from a very risk tolerant to risk averse, and prices decline when people want to get out of risk assets. So that's where Joby is.
So what would you recommend? I mean, there's some people that bought, and there's some people that are interested still in the space and interested in buying in Joby. What would you recommend?
I'll give you my recommendation for other investors and what I'm doing personally. So, as I said in the first video, this is a speculative investment. There's no revenue, there's no earnings, and there's a lot of competition and regulatory hurdles. It's a very, very low probability, certainly in the short run, that you'll have profits on a stock like this. Most IPOs perform pretty poorly. If Joby survives, the sky's the limit, of course, but it's very risky. I'll give you some insight into my personal, when I invest in a very highly speculative stock, I use 2% of the capital that I'm investing with, of my not my net worth, but my risk capital. So I've been trying to do that. I'm only at 1%. I've bought it and sold it, and so I've lowered my cost basis a little bit, not anywhere near where the current price is. And if the trend were to change and it starts to go up, I might buy some. That means that I won't buy the low, but I'll buy maybe a couple days after the low. But I'm going to wait until the trend changes. Now that's how I trade personally. There's no magic. That has worked sometimes, not worked other times. But I'm going to stick to my guns for many reasons on purchasing Joby and getting a 2% position and then living with the results.
We talked earlier about just the local aspect of it, and just in a way kind of the emotional aspect of it. Can you talk a little bit about why you purchased that in that way?
There's certainly a big component of that. If they do well, the economy, our local economy, is going to do well. The wealth will spread out throughout the county and the area. It's also, if they do well and get anywhere near what Tesla or other basically sustainable energy companies are doing, that's going to be good for the world, not just for our local economy. So those factored into it in a big way. I don't think if this was a foreign company, I would have been as interested and gone to the work of investing in it. But those are some of the reasons. But I do think somebody's going to win in this area. There will be flying cars and Uber in the sky, solar powered planes eventually, and Joby might be the one.
So will you continue to invest? Even you said you're at 1% right now.
I'm going to get to 2%. I've had a lot of success with this system, which I think is a prudent system. Now, there are people with massive wealth, and a 5%, 10%, or an enormous investment would be a tiny fraction of their net worth. Some people invest amounts that are enormous, and even if they lose, their quality of life doesn't change because they've got tons of money. But it's what I've done for my clients when they come to me with something they want to invest in that is either an individual stock or a speculative an idea, I enforce a 2% rule for most clients. Again, some clients are so large that they can have a larger amount because it doesn't mess up their retirement plan. But for me, that's worked because I've had more losers than winners. Some of the winners over time, just like a venture capital firm, 10% win, but the 10% winners go up more than the losses they took on the other 9. So there's lots of reasons to be interested in Joby. Flying planes and going to San Francisco in 20 minutes in a solar powered plane is an interesting idea.